Somehow the Sith have returned. One of the main talking points that's been put forward how this show, The Acolyte, isn't going to be canon breaking is that there's technically no Sith in the show, therefore it wouldn't undermine the prequels' idea and understanding that set forth that the Sith had been extinct for a millennia, or at least so thought. Instead, what's happening here is a Sith Lord has shown up. A Sith Lord is starting to kill Jedi, and it's a problem. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is take a look at how the actors and directors of this show are talking about the show, and it's pretty clear.
The Force will be with you.
The Culture Crave on Twitter posted this. Manny Jacinto confirms the stranger in The Acolyte is a Sith Lord, the first new live-action Sith introduced since 2002. And if you scroll down into the comments, you can see this is coming from an Entertainment Weekly interview done by Jacinto, where he shared earlier in this article about he couldn't wait to share and talk about this show, and it wasn't until this most recent episode, episode 5, where he's revealed to be the Master, or also known as the Stranger. And we get lines in the show where he says something kind of cryptic, kind of strange.
What are you?
I have no name. But a Jedi like you might call me Sith.
So is he a Sith or isn't he? The Jedi would call him a Sith, but what does Jacinto say about his own character? Look here, he says, we wanted a character that isn't just a Darth Vader type of guy who overpowers the screen. Isn't that exactly what happened? It's the concept of the uncanny. It can be a stumble in a person's walk or a twitch in somebody's eye. It's very subtle. And it's just like this uncomfortableness that people experience. And that's what we wanted to hone in for this Sith Lord. So by Jacinto's own understanding of the character, where he would get more direction and more leading into who this character is than us, the audience, he's calling this a Sith Lord. So what is a Sith Lord? Well, let's hop over to Wikipedia, who have also been in the news recently for other things. Here's what they say about the Sith, and notice down here, we'll get here. They've added everything from the Acolyte, like they did previously. But here's what it says. It says, founded by a rogue Jedi, talking about the Sith, during the 100-Year Darkness, the Sith were an ancient order who used dark side of the Force and fought the Jedi. During the days of the Old Republic, many individuals held the mantle of Sith Lord and fought countless wars against the Jedi Order. However, their numbers began to dwindle due to infighting, which the Jedi took advantage of, ultimately resulting in the Sith being defeated and nearly destroyed by the Jedi. After Darth Bane established the rule of two, Sith tradition dictated that there could only be two Sith Lords, a master and an apprentice at any given time, which brings us back to the show. If Jacinto, if the Stranger is a Sith Lord, either he is trying to recruit an apprentice, which is what it appears to be. Appearances aren't always what they seem. What it appears to be that he's trying to recruit May. Well, this is Osha here, but he's trying to recruit May to be his apprentice. But he says the word acolyte. Why acolyte instead of apprentice? Brings up some questions. Who taught him what he knows? Or is he just a dark Force user who is taking the mantle of Sith Lord on his own, which would go against exactly who the Sith technically are? And that's why I think there's some that have been trying to make the case that this isn't really a Sith Lord, that it just kind of appears to be a dark Jedi who the Jedi are going to mistakenly label as a Sith, therefore not technically breaking canon. But that's exactly not true. He is, by his own definition, calling himself a Sith Lord. You can read other places in that same article where Leslie Henlin is talking about him, the Stranger, as if he is a Sith. And if you look back at the Wikipedia article, it says High Republic Jedi killings. This is referencing the Acolyte. says by 148 BBY, a Sith Lord claiming to have no name but identifying himself as the Master came in contact with the recruited May Ho'anasea, the sole surviving witch of Mother Anissa's coven. The Master trained May extensively in the ways of the Force, and in 132 BBY, he tasked her with a mission to assassinate 4 Jedi that had been stationed in her home planet of Brendok. So, he is a Sith Lord. Now, this leaves a lot of questions. There's still episodes left, so let's not jump to speculation and frustration. But you cannot claim that the Sith have not returned. They have. Here's what I think is going to happen. It's pretty obvious, and I don't think it's sufficient. I think Sol is going to call back to Venestra. Venestra only, not to the Council. And Venestra is going to be the one who conceals this and who comes to deal with this on her own, thereby not letting the Council know the Sith have returned, thereby keeping that all hush-hush. That will still leave, I think, a ton of unanswered questions about the origin, and these unanswered questions are not going to help the case for the Acolyte. There are so many who already distrust Disney Star Wars, who already look at this show, rightly so, as really being a pile of garbage. Even this episode alone, the dialogue was just all over the place, the motivations of characters all over the place. So this, I don't believe, is going to get a second season. At least I hope not. And so these questions are going to go unanswered. Does it mean that the stranger is going to die in the last few episodes at the hands of Venestra, trying to cover up all of this stuff for the Jedi? Honestly, that's probably what's going to happen. It's just going to be one massive cover up, because after all, the Jedi are just policing the universe. They're just the bad cops, not allowing people to use their Force powers. That was the other main issue I took with this episode, was how they're portraying the Jedi. This Sith Lord is bemoaning and complaining that he's not allowed to use the Force the way he wants to because the Jedi are so oppressive. Give me a break. And so I think what's going to happen, the rest of the episodes are going to just live in that truth. They're going to continue to show the Jedi to be the oppressors, and that this misunderstood Sith Lord to be just pushed down by the man and not allowed to follow through with the way he thinks the Force should be. Just like they offed all the witches, just like they're going to off this guy. It's all about the Jedi being the ones who are oppressing the galaxy with their rules. Now it's your turn. Take to the comments. Let me know what you think. I really am intrigued about what Star Wars fans, who particularly have not overwhelmingly liked this show, think about this obvious reveal. Thanks for watching, and if you consider subscribing to this channel as we're inching ever closer to that 1,000 sub mark. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.